Welcome to Therapeutic Breathwork. I'm so happy that you've found this video, that this work is on your radar. That's very exciting to me. It's very powerful work. So let's talk first just a little bit about what is breathwork and why practice breathwork. So just fair warning, I can and will talk about this through a million lenses all day long. But for the sake of this little living menu here, we're going to boil it down a little bit. So breathwork, conscious connected breathing, or therapeutic breathwork, we utilize slightly faster than normal breathing and slightly slower than normal breathing. And we can achieve through these breathing patterns, an altered state of consciousness, which can help us get into some of our physiologically stored trauma, and also into the unconscious beliefs that are associated with traumatic or overwhelming experiences that we've had in our life. So we walk around with baggage, and this baggage makes us funky in our body, in our perceptions of life and of ourself, and they contain limitations, these beliefs that are unconscious or kind of atmospheric. We can have or give ourselves an opportunity to reveal what those limitations are and to shift, recondition, or to let those limitations that are no longer serving us, let them go. Move on to a more open, more thriving way of being in the self and participating in the world. So that's the baggage aspect. We can go in and create some healthfulness around our experiences up until this point. There's the optimization of the physical body, which is no small deal. So we can help to link and sync all the systems in the body that might be experiencing stagnation, toxicity, or funkiness of any kind. So the breath is a system that we have. It's both autonomic and voluntary, so we can control our breath. And the breath has access to every other system in the body and can be incredibly powerful in shifting and unifying or syncing our systems in the body so they're more harmonious and more optimal. So we're breathing the physical body into a more optimal place. There is nerdball science all day on some of the ways in which we know that that's happening now due to modern research and how exciting that is. We won't get into that here. The third way that we'll talk about this work being meaningful and having a place, a really, to my mind, very vital place on the planet right now, is that it helps us to connect to the aspect of self that lives beyond the mind. This is the aspect of self that is divine, that is already whole, that we can connect to through this sort of altered consciousness experience. Our current sort of mode in our culture, way of being, is that we spend most of our time up here in our brain, having thoughts and relating and associating to those thoughts, and we're kind of in the hamster wheel most of the time. So we have a big old head and a little body, and this is disembodiment. So we are regretting the past, or tinkering with that, or we're worrying about the future, and the present moment gets relatively lost. And Eckhart Tolle says it best by saying we spend most of the time in the past and the future with very brief visits to the present moment. And so we're looking to recondition that so that we spend a lot of our time in the present moment with brief visits to the past and into the future. So this imbalance in how we are, the lack of embodiment, we're just living up here in this little category of kind of basically what we already know, moving the same old puzzle pieces around over and over again, just living in that wheelhouse of what we already know. And a lot of that's fear-based, coming from the past. So we want to open up our experience to have some new insights, some new puzzle pieces, some new information, some wisdom that can come from beyond the mind, connect us to the aspect of self that does already feel whole and that knows how to thrive. This is our nature when the body and the mind and the spirit are all connected. So this is the spiritual path, the devotional path aspect of this work. There are 3 ways to practice in this community right now. All of them are virtual, so they are very accessible, and you can do these classes in your pajamas. The first one is private session work. That's you and I coming together to go deep into what it is that you're with. Really creating some foundational shift, and garnering some insight into what it is that is might be holding you back from living in a really fully thriving way. Those are one-on-one. You can get more information about those or register for one on the website. The second option is Daily Breathe. This is an hour-long breathwork community. We gather Tuesday through Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. We meet and focus on a theme. We have a theme every week, and we go into some facet of that theme each day that we breathe. So that's a guided meditation on a relevant theme. These are themes that are meaningful to us in our lives, that come up within the group in my private practice, that seem to have some significance, universally even, that we talk about. And then we breathe. We breathe in this connected way for 25 minutes, and then we have a chance to check in with each other. These groups are exceeding the sum of their parts. They're blowing my mind. And in the words of Thich Nhat Hanh, some version of something that Thich Nhat Hanh says, which is that the next incarnation of Buddha or the Messiah or the Christ will be Sangha, will be spiritual community. This interconnected, diverse, powerful way in which we can all be healthful and connected, rather than sort of a guru model or somebody up at the top of the pyramid model. And I love that. Not only do I love that, but I feel it and see it, and I'm watching it happen before my eyes in these groups. So the third way that you can practice this breathing process is on our Wednesday Deep Breathe group. That's from 3 to 5 p.m. on Wednesday. That's a full breathwork process in a smaller group, and it's quite intimate and very sweet, very beautiful healing space. So that's something about breathwork, about our community, why you might practice, and how to do it. The website is theradiantshadow.com, and I look forward to seeing you, breathing with you, answering your questions, and hearing what you might have to offer our community. So please come join us.